Okay, this is your instructor, Jen. Just wanted to go over my corrections made to your assignment. First off, I just want to say, overall great ideas. However, there's quite a bit of corrections that can be done to improve this assignment. So first of all, in APA papers, you're going to want to put the title centered right on the top. I assumed that's what was in that first section there, the Florence Nightingale, so I put that there in the front. You might also want to think of a cover page. You can see I put that in a comment here. Most of the time in APA papers there is a title page. This assignment doesn't really warrant one. It's a short paper, but for the future you might want to add a cover page. This is a good paragraph. However, I would have liked to see more of an introduction with maybe a thesis statement introducing the assignment, what we were going to learn about by reading this paper. You could even just add your thesis into the end of this first part here. That was kind of giving an introduction of Florence and what she was all about. Throughout the paper, you'll see I've got some red, just a couple of corrections, make it a little easier to read, some grammar fixes, word choice. You're going to want to remember that you want to use the same tense throughout the paper. So since Florence Nightingale is past, deceased, the was is the perfect term to use, but you're going to want to follow that throughout the whole paper. So here I corrected that. Then we'll go down here just to go into a little bit of APA formatting when you're referencing. There's a lot of sources out there that can help you do this correctly throughout your paper. There's a specific way that we like to see you excuse me, that we like to see you reference your sources. And there's also not a reference page in this assignment, so I need you to add that in when you resubmit this. So, proofreading is a beautiful thing. You're going to want to read your work out loud. It's going to catch any mistakes, any forgotten words, any words that you may have mistyped but are still words. They just don't fit, like, I don't even know. There, you maybe forgot the T and it says here is still a word but doesn't make sense in the sentence. All right. I combined a couple of your paragraphs. They were short paragraphs and they seemed to overlap in content. So these two paragraphs here about the symbolic lamp and Florence Nightingale, I combined those into one paragraph. Again, changed around some wordings here. Then we go on, and again, I combined your next two paragraphs about the nursing cap. So all of your lamp stuff is in one paragraph and all of your nursing cap stuff is in another paragraph. Just makes it a little easier to follow. Here was a prime example of reading your work out loud. This soiled, you meant to write. It said solid. It was still a word, however, it didn't make sense. So I went through and fixed that. Again, a little issue with the APA reference formatting here. And then your conclusion. I would maybe even add more information, to follow the assignment guidelines. There's got to be an area about what Florence Nightingale was all about, her legacy, and then how she's influencing the future. I see that maybe in here, this one sentence that tells us how Florence has influenced the future of nursing, but I think that could be elaborated just a little bit more. Just really important part of the assignment. So I would, add some of that into the bulk of the paper and then do more of a formal conclusion. Just kind of tying it all up, restating your thesis, and giving a good conclusion there. And then, of course, I already mentioned at the beginning that you should have a reference page. That would be on its own separate page after the body of the paper, with any references that you use. So that Catalano reference would be cited on that page. And maybe gather a couple other references to give your paper more meaning. Very good start. I mean, keep doing what you're doing and just reach out to people if you need help. When you resubmit the assignment, please, take into consideration the corrections I've made here, make your additions, and then don't forget that reference page. All right, thank you very much.